This is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the show about everything that gets you from here to there. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break it down so you actually get it.
Well, a show about everything that gets you from here to there. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie, and today we're asking the big one, why does Europe have sleek bullet trains while America is basically stuck with a slightly sad Amtrak? Experience.
Slightly sad is generous, Robbie. I've been on Amtrak. The Wi-Fi connects about as reliably as a telegraph.
Okay, but real talk, Europe's trains are genuinely incredible. France's TGV hits speeds of around 300 kilometers per hour. That's Paris to Lyon in 2 hours.
Meanwhile, the Amtrak Acela, America's so-called high-speed train, averages about 110 kilometers per hour because it shares track with freight trains.
Shares track. Imagine a race car stuck behind a tractor on the highway. That's the Acela's whole life.
So how did it get this way? It's not like America was always anti-train in the 1800s. Trains literally built this country.
Right? The Transcontinental Railroad finished in 1869. That was a massive deal, connecting the coasts for the first time.
So trains were huge. Then something went sideways, or rather something went highway.
The interstate highway system happened. In the 1950s, Eisenhower pushed for a massive national road network, partly inspired by the German Autobahn.
And the government poured billions into roads and airports while rail just sort of got left at the station.
Plus, car companies and oil companies weren't exactly rooting for trains to make a comeback. Funny how that works.
Europe went a different direction, partly because their cities are older and denser. They were already built around rail.
And after World War II, European governments invested heavily in public infrastructure, including national rail networks that are still expanding today.
Japan built its Shinkansen bullet train network starting in 1964, same year as the Tokyo Olympics. Actually,
Japan looked at its dense population, limited land, and said, trains are the obvious answer. America looked at its wide-open spaces and said, road trip.
which is fun for a vacation, but terrible if you just need to commute to work every day.
Geography is a real factor, though. America is enormous. Flying from New York to Los Angeles takes about 5.5 hours in a plane.
A train on that route would take days, so for long distances, trains genuinely struggle to compete with air travel here.
But here's the thing. Trains shine most in that medium-distance sweet spot, like 2 to 6 hours, think Boston to Washington.
And the Northeast Corridor, which is that Boston, New York, Washington route, is actually Amtrak's most successful line. It carries about 12 million passengers a year.
12 million people who could be moving a lot faster if the track were upgraded. Some of it dates back to the 1800s.
1800s. My phone gets a software update every 3 weeks, and the train is running on Victorian infrastructure.
It costs an enormous amount to build new rail. High-speed rail in California has been under planning and construction for years, and costs keep climbing.
Critics say it's wasteful. Supporters say the upfront cost pays off over decades in reduced traffic emissions and economic connections between cities.
And that's the political tension in a nutshell. Public investment with long-term payoffs versus short-term budget concerns.
Different countries just have different traditions around what government should build and pay for.
In Germany, rail is seen almost like a public utility. In America, there's more skepticism about government running transportation systems.
Though it's worth noting, America has no problem spending on roads and airports, which are also massively publicly funded.
True, it's not really government spending versus no government spending. It's a question of where the money goes.
And historically, where the money went was cars, trucks, planes, and the lobbyists who loved them.
Freight rail is actually where America quietly dominates, though. The US has one of the largest freight rail networks on Earth.
Goods move great, people, not so much. Priorities, am I right?
There are some reasons to be optimistic, though. The infrastructure law passed in 2021 included about $66 billion for rail.
66 billion sounds huge, but spreading that across the entire country over many years? It's a start, not a solution.
Some cities are investing locally too. New light rail lines, commuter trains, urban transit expansion happening in places like Denver and Los Angeles.
Change is slow, but it's not zero, which is more than I can say for the Amtrak Wi-Fi.
Bottom line, America didn't end up without great trains by accident. It was choices, geography, politics, and a whole lot of highway construction.
And reversing a century of infrastructure decisions takes political will, enormous money, and probably a few decades.
But the countries that invested early are reaping the rewards now: faster commutes, lower emissions, and way better snack cars.
The snack car is a real factor. Have you seen the food on European trains? Actual meals, actual coffee.
America, please enjoy your vacuum-sealed pretzels at 110 kilometers per hour. Europe, bon appetit at 300.
Maybe that's the argument that finally convinces people. Forget the environment, forget the economics, just lead with the croissants.
That's a transportation policy I can get behind. Thanks for riding along with us today, and see you next week on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.